Again, so we talked about this, like, kind of setting up this position here, you know, where we're walking the arm high and catching and all of that stuff and going to our S mount last week. If I'm here, one of the things that Kieran's going to do, he's going to bridge and shrimp again, basically the same way, to get to his side, and then he's going to start to frame. So he's going to look at creating a frame here. So his elbow is on one side of my hip and his hand's on the other. This is really important that you practice this, okay? We don't want this elbow to slip across the body. That's going to be very easy for us to then take the back, but it's also unrealistic. Okay, you shouldn't do this. You need to keep this elbow back here. Okay, so now when I try to come around the corner, the point of his elbow is stopping me. Does that make sense, guys? And then he can start using his elbow and everything to start opening out, getting back to half guard and doing all this kind of thing, okay? So person on the bottom you have to think about. So we're here, I'm in this position, Kieran frames, and he starts getting to this point. What I need to do, the first thing that I'm gonna try to do is stop Kieran's hip escaping away. Okay, because Kieran wants to get his butt out that direction, and then he can re-guard very, very easily. So when I'm here, I'm trying to clamp that down as much as I possibly can. And the other thing that I'm going to try and do is, depending on where his arm is, I'm going to try and grab something so that he can't pull his elbow free. It might be his wrist here. It might be that I just grab onto the point of his elbow. But now if Kieran tries to turn flat down to keep rolling over that direction, it becomes a lot harder, okay? So without being sat up on Kieran, if Kieran tries to turn all the way towards a turtle, by lifting his elbow, it becomes much, much more difficult for him to do, okay, because he can never fully rotate out. Once I get to this position and I'm clamping down, I bring this other arm through and I drag Kieran's head back in that direction. Okay, now Kieran's caught up in this position where he's got a forearm across my hips, right? But he doesn't have any posture. Try and bridge in either direction. It's very, very weak for him to be in. Okay, what I'm going to look to do is I take hold of his hand or his wrist, I pin it to his chest, move my body across, and I use my body to bring this back to the other side. Okay, so he turns onto his side. I initially stop him in some way, drop my head, drag my elbow back, and keep it clamped to my leg. Now I need to clear the elbow point. Hand keeps it pinned so Kieran can't track me, body comes back. Then I drive forwards again, and I can do this a couple of times to get to the right position. What I need to do then is slip, set my grip, turn up onto the side, and take the back again. Make sense, guys? One more time. Kieran's here, he turns onto his side. First thing, I pinch my knees to try and clamp. Grab his sleeve, grab his arm, grab something so he can't keep escaping. Loop the head, drag his head back. Pin his hand to his chest, move my body, bring it forwards. Bring it forwards, till I feel like I can grab his wrist, make my grip adjustment, and then chair sit to the back again. Make sense, guys? Cool. Turn this way. So again, we're here, Kieran bridges up onto the side. Kieran's got his onto his side, remember, forearm across the hips. I'm blocking so that Kieran can't go anywhere. Keep trying to hip escape. It's going to be very difficult. As he does that, I drag his head back. Okay, pin his hand so he can't go anywhere. Adjust my body, push with my ribs. Push with my ribs, push with my ribs. How's this feel, Kieran?
Horrible.
Yeah, because I'm blocking him, I'm really taking away his posture. When I'm ready, I can just let his head slip, take the back from here. And then finish with the choke and all that kind of stuff. Make sense, guys?